Okay, mic check, mic check. All right, let me try that again. Mic check. All right. All right, now it's mic check for Twitch. All right, awesome. Looks like everything is running. Finally. Hey, Sujan. Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing today? All right. I will be on camera in just a minute. Hi, Dresden. Yeah, you're gonna have to move out of there, little boy. We'll see. We might get some Dresden straight away. Let's see. Get this camera set up a little. All right, let's get. Hold on. Face cam. Dresden, you gotta say hi now. Aw, say hi, Dresden. Don't look at that. That's just you. He's so dumb. You saw my self-portrait? Oh, thank you so much, Sujan. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. I'm happy with how it came out. Um, uh, what is happening here? Um, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It's not exactly, how can I put this? There are some aspects of it that I would do differently, but I would only do them differently if I started it today. Whereas when I started it, I wouldn't have made those changes. What? Um, that didn't help at all. Why is that? What's going on here? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so um stream didn't happen yesterday. I'm so flustered with that, but I think I think it's all clearly it's working today, so there's that. Um, okay, there we go. All right. I got something exciting to show a little bit later. I just don't want to show first thing because like no one's here. But yeah. It's right. Wait, camera, follow my face. It can't. It's right here. It's kind of it's cool, but I'll save that for later. How have you been, Sujan? How's the painting been going? All right. Look. Oh, hold on. I can even that out a little. There we go. Let's see. I don't know. Even it out a little. I was actually thinking of doing a painting of oh, I'm not going to remember her name right now. But she was on the last Drawn Together. I was going to do that yesterday, but that didn't work out. And today I don't think I'll have the time, so instead I'm just going to work on my own painting today. I really want to finish some of the paintings that I have right now because I what's it called? I have too many unfinished paintings that I need to get through, honestly. Way too many. Way too many unfinished paintings. Alrighty. Oh shit, I should have cleaned off my palette when it was on the floor. Oh well. Oh well. The problem is need a little bit of muscle to clean it off sometimes and get better leverage, or the floor is sturdier than my easel, which makes sense. Yeah, I was stupid and left my palette out because I thought I'd be painting, and clearly that didn't happen. Yeah, there it is. Okay, for anyone watching now or later, I have a question for you. And you can put it in the comments. and on YouTube. I'm just curious because I was talking to someone and they referred to me and my way of painting. They said they thought I was very, very bold with my painting. And what's the word he used? Energetic and what was the other word? I think those were the two main ones. And I'd never really thought of myself in those terms at all, you know. So I'm wondering, is that my perception or his perception that's like off to other people, you know? Because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about other people's perception. So I'm just curious, like, is that something that, when anyone watching right now, when you look at my paintings and when you watch me paint, is that the perception or the way you think of it? I'm just curious. And obviously, if you don't have an answer, you can just say no, yes, I don't know, never thought of it. What are you talking about? You're weird. Everything is okay. I'm just curious. And let's be honest, you're weird is probably the most accurate answer. Oh man, I did not realize how dry this was. Jeez. So for anyone who is using oil paints and using a glass palette, and you come across a situation like this, just so you know, if you use rubbing alcohol, like 70% or more probably. Honestly, I don't know if less will work, but 70 will. You can soak it and it will it will make this a lot easier. The paint you can basically take all the paint off with a rag if you soak it and give it a little bit of time. I'm just being kind of silly right now and doing it the hard way. But yeah, you absolutely can do it with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and make your life easier. All right, I'm almost done with this. Also, for anyone who is getting into oil painting, don't buy an expensive glass palette, honestly. Unless you're buying like a really thick, like I'm talking like thick piece of glass or something for a table or something. But yeah, otherwise it's really not worth it. Hey Dia, welcome. To be frank, I didn't really put any thought about how I feel while drawing and looking at others' artwork. That's fair. I was just curious. Like I said, yeah, I was talking to someone and that's how they perceive me as a painter and my work. And I was just like, that's weird. I mean, not weird, but that's not how I think of myself, but, or how I perceive myself, but that is kind of not important. It's more of a like, how am I perceived versus how I think of myself, you know? So I was just curious. Also, welcome. Good to see you. How you doing? Sorry there was no stream on Saturday. That was on Sunday. That was frustrating. All right, there we go. All done. Unless I'm getting my names mixed up, you did a really good Sherlock Holmes, Dio. By the way, that was really cool. I like the finish. I think you did a great job with it. I need blue. If anyone's curious what I'm talking about as far as Dio's Sherlock Holmes, you can join the Discord and see it there. Hey, Des, you have arrived. Yo, welcome. Shall we entertain you now? You were painting and now taking a pizza break. Well, welcome. Good to see you. I hope the painting's going well. Okay. I think, well, actually, I'll show it off now, and if more regulars come in, I'll show it off again later. I have something to show everybody. I think it's really cool. And I can do that before I start painting, so, yeah. No, no. Do I not have, oh, there we go. All right. Check it out, everybody. This is nothing to do with my painting. I just think it's really cool. I'm just happy with it. That's all. It was a thing from work that I like. I thought it was really cool. It says Crepopolis on it. Obviously, nothing like important and nothing to do with painting, but still, I think I thought it was really cool. So, but yeah, the back says Crepopolis crew on it. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Trying to make sure the cats don't get to it and ruin it. All right. What's Crapopolis? Crapopolis is a TV show It's an animated show on Fox. Overseas, it might be on Disney Plus if you have Disney Plus. You can find clips and stuff on what's it called? On YouTube as well. It's an animated TV show. Um, but that's what I do for work on my when I'm not painting. I do storyboards for the TV show. Um, the the creator of this show is Dan Harmon, the guy who made Rick and Morty. Well, one of the guys from Rick and Morty. I'm just oiling out because this painting is completely dry at this point. Let's see. I literally cannot see where I've oiled out and where I haven't without seeing the reflections. There are other ways of doing this, like I could use a flashlight or something, but honestly, I feel like this is just the most direct and quickest way. But yeah, in case anybody didn't know, I do for work I do storyboards and TV animation. Uh, your Sujan says I'm cutting down my screen time, so I'm not going to watch more TV. I'm using max 2 to 3 hours of screen. This live is counting in my screen time too. Can't watch full live, unfortunately. Hey, no worries. I'll be honest. I mean, as much as I appreciate people watching my stream, and I do, of course, I know from my experience when I was watching, when I would watch like Nicholas Uribe or other painters, there's a lot of times where I'm not really watching. Like I have it on, but I'll be doing something else, you know. So I understand if people are like just listening and not actually watching half the time, you know. Who here is thinking about substituting screen uh, time with art time? I mean, I'll be honest. I pretty much have a screen running almost all the time while I'm doing art. So, like, I'll when I'm not when I'm not streaming, a lot of times I'll watch YouTube videos, or I was even binging One Piece. I'll do that stuff while working or while painting, as long as it doesn't interfere. So I do have a really bad case of ADHD, so that might be why. So that might just be on me. The painting is okay. You're not loving it yet. Hey, I mean, look, that's fair. You don't have to love everything I paint. That's okay, Laura. It's not a big deal. I'm like 90% sure she's referring to her own painting, but like I thought it was funny. All right, it's been a while since I worked on this painting, so I'm gonna need a. It's definitely going to take me a few minutes to kind of get back into the groove of it. Sujan says, sorry, Laura says to Sujan, it's a dog. You're painted once already, and the proportions were wrong. This is your second attempt. And she says, yeah, my painting, is what I was referring to. That's funny. Sujan asks, have you monitored your screen time? Average is 7 to 9 hours around the world. 7 to 9 hours a day or a week? Like, what are we talking here? I mean, if I had to guess, I would say uh, I easily clear that in a day. A day? Yeah. Yeah, I think I easily clear that. Let's see if my YouTube app will tell me easily. I bet there's a thing here where it tells me. Um, let's see, real quick. If I can't find it fast, yeah, let's see. Doesn't have viewing time. Yeah, it doesn't have just viewing time easily, so I can't tell. Oh, time watched. Here we go. Yeah, today 10 hours. Um, yeah, some days are getting close to 13 hours here. Easy, yeah. To be fair though, like I said, I do a lot of watching when I'm not watching it. Leah, is your painting in your painting? I noticed you have more yellow in most painting? Is it deliberate, but like the glow it gives? Oh, but you like the glow it gives. In this painting, yeah, it is deliberate. It's this is a found photography, and so the what's it called? The photo's black and white. So I'm not even going to attempt to give everything a like realistic color. So I'm more going towards like um, a filtered look that has that like you said glow, and I'm trying to give it some more like nostalgia feeling. Yeah. Although I'll probably be doing a little work on the people because they're looking a little too yellow at the moment, but not, like I said, I'm not trying for realistic colors. But yeah, I also listen to podcasts while through YouTube, and then sometimes I'll fall asleep with a video running. So I'm not really worried about my screen time. I would be worried about my screen time if all I did was sit and watch the screen while it was running. That I'd be concerned. I feel like if I'm watching YouTube while I'm cooking, you know, first of all, it keeps the screen from timing out, but also like I'm just not concerned about it. Like I said, I might not be the norm. With my ADHD, I sometimes go a little overboard with some of these things. I uh I remember one time catching myself uh watching something on my computer and watching something on my phone at the same time and reading an article at the same time, and I'm like, okay, this is I think I'm taking it a little too far here, and I'm probably not really absorbing most of this information. But yeah, like I said, as far as colors go, it's I'm trying to hit that nostalgia kind of feel. Sister says, "Greetings. I've still got a little bit of painting time in me tonight, so I came to join you." Oh, awesome. How are you doing tonight? And that's great. What are you working on? What kind of painting are you up to today? And if we know each other elsewhere and I'm not recognizing your name, I apologize. I sometimes have a hard time connecting the dots between my different social medias and everything. You swear you thought the painting was my reference? Nope. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, when you get close, it definitely doesn't look like reference, but from a distance, that actually means a lot. So I appreciate it. Oh, you came in here with a raid once. Okay, okay, awesome. Welcome. What are you working on? What kind of art do you make? And actually, to address, it genuinely looks like an old photo. Thank you. Yeah. To address what you're talking about, not directly, but indirectly, what you're talking about. it's worth people, it's worth it knowing that um, the details, it's like proof that details don't matter as much, because if you step back, it can look, realistic, or look more real, even though when you get close, it doesn't look real at all. So something to keep in mind for people, for artists out there who aren't familiar with that phenomenon. I'm just marking down some small changes here and there where I feel like I need to make some slight adjustments. It's been a while since I touched this painting, so I'm trying to find myself in it again. You love to play with all sorts of artsy crafts paints. Thought tonight you're doing a painting job with a plaster mask you made. Oh, that's so cool. Those are fun. I remember when I was in what's it called? When I was in art school, one of the things we did was we had to sketch a face, not sketch, trace a face, and we had to do it twice. Once where we traced all the details and all the like defining features, and one where we just did all the like big outlines for the shadows and forms. It was so obvious that that mattered so much more, because it was so clear. One looked so clear and the other looked, did not look clear at all. Even though it had all the details, didn't look clear in the slightest. It was really interesting. Let's see. Sister says, I have paint on the brain. LOL. You also dabble in drawing and craft, but acrylic painting on canvas board is your favorite. Nice. You have nowhere near your level though yet. That's cool. You'll get there if that's what you want. It's just work, time and work. Sujan, hold on. Going back to Sister real quick. I have a link to my Discord. I don't know if it's in my Twitch, but it is on my YouTube. I apologize. I don't have the link set up very well, but you can join the Discord. I also have a feedback corner in my Discord. If you ever want feedback, you can, like I said, you can join and post there. But yeah, and there's other like-minded artists in my Discord. It's a small Discord that is, not very hard to keep track of. We'll put it that way. Sue John says, your paintings are really realistic and impressionistic. It's so tough not to get the not too details yet realistic. Yeah, it is very much. It's very much a balancing act. It's very difficult to try and keep them. Keep the details, or do some details but not all the details, but keep it looking realistic but impressionistic. It's not an easy balance, and I'm still working on it. Yeah, sister, that does not work. But hold on, I'll help you out in just a second. I'll help you out, because I can go to, maybe no, I can't go to my stream right now. Well, that's dumb of me. Um, okay. Here we go. I'll have to do this the slow way. Live. All right, 1 second. Here we go. Um, Copy link address. Here we go. That's not it. What the heck was that? Why does swear to God, technology is fantastic, but like so often it's not. Like the things that should be working just don't work, and it's just eh, whatever. Anyways, there we go. If that doesn't work, let me know. I'll do something about it. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm like interested in as far as like painting goes, like aspects of painting, and a lot of them kind of conflict with each other. So trying to like balance conflicting concepts and conflicting interests is very challenging. Like I really like I've said, I want to paint like very moody and atmospheric paintings. I want them to all have that like some kind of like real mood to them. That's something I've mentioned a few times before. Um, and in order to do that, a lot of times you have to like really compress everything, and you have to you know, do a lot of lost edges, very soft, soft stuff, and that's great, and I love that. But at the same time, I also really love painting with hard edges. I like detailing certain aspects of the face a lot. And so these things very much clash with each other um, natively. But with some trial and error, and actually some constant trial and error, it's possible to find kind of a middle ground of some sort where these opposing ideas kind of live in harmony together, which is what I'm trying to do with my paintings, you know? Because, yeah, I find it very hard to not, like, you know, not detail certain things. It's very challenging to be like, okay, I know I can add a ton of detail to this, but I'm just gonna let it go and not do any details here. So, so challenging. And often the same thing with contrast. We're so drawn to contrast. It's such a natural, so naturally like built into us to like use contrast to, find the things that we need to like pay attention to. Um, so it's very challenging to like not play with the contrast or not highlight the contrast or whatever, like all those things. It can be very, very challenging. Or I guess what it is that it's hard to remember that sometimes the things that we really enjoy doing don't actually improve the painting, but that there are places where we can do that and it does improve the painting. So it's trying to, it's finding those places and focusing on it when in the right time, I guess would be the way to think about it. Was I muted this whole time, by the way? You're in? Good. Have I been muted this whole time while I was talking? That'd be awkward. Maybe on brand because I do that occasionally. It happens. Not muted. Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Hey, look at me actually pulling it off. All right, cool. Hi, Don Lee. Liad brand chatting. Yeah, exactly. Definitely on brand for me to mute myself and then keep talking. I remember when it used to happen to Pinky all the time. Thanks, sister. I appreciate that. She said excellent job. All right. I think. Oh, one more thing. All right. I think that's about it. Oh, this is so not important, but I'm still just going to mark it a little bit so I have an idea. You've pulled the occasional mute in chat. It's a classic. Yeah, most streamers I know have done that on occasion. How are you doing today, Don Lee? It's good to see you. In case anyone didn't see it but was wondering why I didn't stream yesterday, um, Windows updated and completely bricked my OBS essentially. So yeah, it took me I think 2.5 hours to get it up and running again. So yeah, but it clearly is working now. So at least that. What did I just hear? I, oh, fucking. Okay. Like what? I'm getting notifications of some sort and I don't know what. All right, that's all done. I had Facebook open by mistake. Windows be rude. Seriously rude. It was so infuriating. Um, yeah, I don't have any other real words about it. It was just unbelievably frustrating because Windows updated and everything seemed fine and I didn't see any change to my computer at all. And then I go to use OBS and nothing. I had to restart my computer like 50 times. I had to manually install drivers. Even the auto updates and stuff wouldn't work. I had to go like search and find them and just ridiculous. Sister says I'm not good at technology, as my dad would say. I'm just a dumb user. Nah, it's all good. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I can make my way through certain things sometimes, but you only need to know as much as you like need to use it really. It is infuriating, and it's really frustrating that it forces you to do the updates. That's the other thing that's really frustrating with the Windows update stuff. Um, I've tried to set it so it doesn't auto update. Of like all this stuff is just they push it on you so hard. It's very frustrating. But it's all good. At least now it's working. You know, that's what matters. Sujin says I'm very bad at tech. You know what's really funny is, at least to me, I think it's funny. Like, okay, I'm a weird like hybrid because I can I literally built my computer, right? Like I bought all the parts separate and put it together. And I installed all the drivers and firmware and did all this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, that has gotten so much easier. I've done it many times over the years, and honestly, it's gotten a lot easier as time goes on. So I'm not, and that's not like programming or anything super duper complicated, but I think it's still a degree of technical, you know, ability. At least some, right? Um, I only like last year finally figured out how to change the strength and output of like my microwave. You know, if you want to like heat something up but you don't want it full blast, um yeah, like I only figured that out like last year. So, it's kind of a mix. That says my nephew built mine. Nice. Sister says, imagine people who have court dates over Zoom or similar. Yeah, I hate that. Wait, you can do that? Yeah, you can do that. I know, it's crazy. Well, that's another thing that happens a lot when uh I work from home and I'll have Zoom meetings and I'll turn Zoom on and it's like, "Oh, we have to update. So we're going to force you to update right now." No option to not update, nothing. It's like, "Oh, you started Zoom, we're updating now." No options, nothing. It's like, "Well, now I'm late for a meeting because you are updating." Um, Thanks a lot, Zoom. Appreciate it. Have you seen Dusan art? Palette knife only. Very interesting to use a palette knife sometimes. I do use a palette knife sometimes. I'm not sure I know who Dusan is, although maybe there's a chance. I'm notoriously bad with names, so as we know. Um, but yeah, I do use a palette knife. I can't use a palette knife um, for like what I would consider most of my painting, unfortunately. I wish I could. I just can't get the like subtlety and the nuance that I can get with a brush, with a palette knife. Possibly if I painted much larger, maybe. Um, Sister says, and there are the bosses who say it's 100% your fault because you didn't log in early enough to allow for updates. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's also dumb because sometimes you don't even realize, like you won't even realize that Zoom is closed. Like um maybe your computer restarted overnight or something and you didn't realize it and it didn't reopen, like it didn't reopen all the programs or whatever. And so you thought it was open in the background and it wasn't. I've had that happen to me. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's very frustrating. My bosses are great. I've never had any issue like that, but I can imagine bosses having an issue. Yeah, yeah. I'm very lucky that my job, the place where I'm working at right now, is fantastic. I've said this multiple times. It's like the best job I've ever had. Very happy with the my coworkers and with the crew and the condition. Like it's just great. It's been great. Donley says, I use Streamlabs. You try to start it up about 10 minutes before stream. You've been conditioned because of its updates. Yeah, so the thing is, I use regular OBS. Thanks all. Oh wait, Sujan says thanks. I'll have to go. Hey, no worries, Sujan. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you using some of your screen time for me. Thank you. Um, so OBS at least gives you the option to like not update, but um, the thing that was frustrating yesterday was I started OBS, everything's working. I I set the stream. I have to like what's it called? Schedule. I scheduled the stream, all working fine. Everything's good to go. I hit go live, and it just like will not work. Just absolutely not going to work. It was telling me that something's wrong with the drivers and all this other stuff. I'm just like, oh, god damn. That says I haven't streamed in so long that my Streamlabs has gray hair and walks with a cane. That's funny. Ain't no time like the present. Uh, Sister says good bosses are game changers, good colleagues too. Absolutely, absolutely, and it's fantastic. That's one thing I'm very lucky about. You know, fingers crossed we get a season 4, and I can keep working there. Um, you know. Only stupid updates didn't used to force updates like that. No, absolutely. And I hate the way Windows they claim that you can like push updates and not have them like be automatic. Um, but I think they're just lying because 90% of the time that doesn't work. And also what they'll do is they'll like download updates automatically, which just completely like brings my whole system to a crawl. It's so maddening. Season 4 of what? If you don't mind saying. Oh, I don't mind saying. Okay, so actually, I'll show it because Don Lee wasn't here earlier, so I'm going to show this for Don Lee, and this will be for you too, sister. So I am a storyboard artist on Crapopolis, and I'm showing this off because we got a thing from work, which excuse me, I'm so sorry, I couldn't mute in time. But check this out, Crapopolis crew. Yeah. Um, it's like I guess it's like a baseball jacket. So it says Crapopolis on it and Crapopolis Crew on the back. Literally it just arrived the other day, yesterday. So Don Lee says, "Wow, you're on to season 3 already. Seems like season 1 just dropped. Season 2 just started airing, and we actually got an article written about us because we had season 3 was greenlit before season 1 ever came out, which is not very common. Um, uh, you know, I don't know the like the stuff behind it, but yeah. Crapopolis is an animated show on, is it at Hulu and Peacock, I think? No, it's on Fox, so it's on Hulu. And for the people who don't have Hulu overseas, it might be on Disney Plus. There are some places where it's on Disney Plus because they don't have Hulu at all. Nice, Jackie Man. Congrats on the continuation. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. And while I'm at it, since I have my gloves off, let's bring out Dresden for a minute. Baby boy. Oh, baby boy. This is one of my 3 cats. This is Dresden. Hi, little boy. Right now, Dresden is scared of my monitor because he saw another cat in it a couple times. Once it was him because I had him on stream. I have to hide OBS now. But he saw the preview of himself and got scared of it. So now he's scared of my monitor. He thinks there's a cat living inside of it somewhere. Okay, okay. He's getting better though. His bravery's coming back. Or he's forgetting about it. So his name's Dresden after Harry Dresden the Wizard. And we have 2 more cats and a dog. What is, LOL, what is this sorcery? Yeah, yeah, yeah. he fulfills a lot of the ginger cat stereotypes. Very much so. Isn't that right, little boy? And he's also a bit of a scaredy cat. Because he's a very gentle cat. Like he doesn't attack or hurt anything. Like maybe bugs. Like he does eat bugs, but otherwise, he's very, very gentle. So Lee says, not familiar with Harry Dresden the Wizard. Is that a character from a book? Yes, it is. It's the main character of the Dresden Files, the book series. So apparently, it's also a place in Germany. I suspect that the writer took the name from the place in the place in Germany, and I inadvertently took it from the book. So yeah, this is our cats. We have Weasley, Potter, and Hermione. She had kittens, Hagrid, Tonks, Ginny, and Molly. One kitten didn't survive, and we called it Dobby. He's buried in the backyard. That is sad, but everything else about it is hilarious. It's really funny. Were you a fan of the book series or the movies or both? I'm curious. Conley says, I'm looking up Dresden Files now. I see a comic. There's also a novel. It's 13 novels, I think. Um, they did make a comic book. There was also a TV show, which was very low budget on sci-fi back in the day. Um, very low budget. Like they clearly did not have the money to make the show properly. That says books first, then I was a crazy mom who would stand outside the theater for 12 hours on opening day because there were no pre-orders then. Kids were pulled out of school to sit out there. That's funny. So I got mad at the books back in the day, and I stopped reading them. I was reading uh, I was reading them, and then after book four, I stopped because I got frustrated with them. So I stopped. So I stopped. It also happened to me with Great Game of Thrones or whatever the book series was called. I I was listening to that series, and after book three, I was just like, "F this! I am no longer going to listen to these or follow these. I'm not going to watch the show. I'm angry at this, and I don't want to be a fan of it anymore." With Harry Potter, the thing the reason I stopped reading it and I got frustrated with it was because I felt like it felt like it was one of those murder mystery novels, but because of all the made up magic that you know you couldn't possibly like figure it out. And so I got frustrated with it. I was like, well, if I can't possibly figure this out in advance, why am I even reading it? This as I read the books of Game of Thrones, you were irritated by the show. It seemed to skip around a lot and couldn't follow after you read the books, so you didn't watch it. So the thing that I got frustrated with Game of Thrones was I when I listened to the books, I didn't read them, but you know, same difference in my opinion. But my issue was that nothing good ever seemed to happen in the books, and even when something good would happen, he would immediately cut away to a different storyline, and then when he came back to it, everything was bad again. And it's just like, look, I know life sucks, and I know life is hard. Um, but good things do happen to people in their life occasionally. But not in this series. There's no joy here. There's never any joy here. And that pissed me off. So yeah. So yeah, so that's why I stopped reading that series. Donnelly says, didn't watch Game of Thrones because the idea of being a main character gets killed off every week sounded unappealing. We had plenty of other things to keep your attention, so nope, ended out of it. Well, I didn't see the series, so I don't know if that was their gimmick that like every week someone dies. You know, I don't mind like some main characters dying, and I also don't mind some like twists around that. Like if but you know, it has to be done well, of course. Like there was there was that what's it called? Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston in it. Uh did I say series? Movie. Anyways, um and it was like a big deal that he was in this Godzilla movie, and I was excited for it because like I like Bryan Cranston. He's really good. And I'm warning anyone who's watching, spoilers, it's an old movie, but spoilers, he dies really early in it. And that would have been fine, except for the other characters just are boring and just nothing else about it was interesting. So they took away the good part, but they didn't have anything underneath it to like back it up. So it just was not great, in my opinion. And I always feel bad saying that because I know that people, you know, I know people work really hard on this stuff. I struggle with that sometimes because, you know, I'm kind of part of the industry and I know how hard people work on things and it's just like regardless it can still come out not great. But yeah. I think that series or that movie was just kind of the problem was they didn't focus on Godzilla That was really the main problem. So it says like if you made a movie about Joan of Arc, only you had her burn in the opening scene, uh, and time was linear. Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I think you're right, but I will say this: I think you can do you can do that type of stuff. It is possible, but it's not easy, and you have to work really hard to pull it off. Um, you know, uh, but I don't feel like they did with the Godzilla movie. I mean, because Bryan Cranston was the main Bryan Cranston and Godzilla were the main attraction of the movie. You killed him off in the beginning, and then you barely showed Godzilla. So what is left? Possible? Yes. Probable? Yeah, you're right, sister. That's a good way of putting it. Absolutely. It's not probable, that's for sure. Uh Suddenly says YouTube may have sort of solved the annoying heart in the corner of chat. There's a permanent gray box of text reminding you to guard your privacy. Oh, never mind. Yeah. That box goes away. I'm surprised you still have it. You had it. All right. The box became part of chat as soon as I said something about it. Uh, are you using a VPN by any chance? Because that sounds similar to what I like the repeat notification thing that I get with a VPN sometimes. So, in case anyone isn't familiar or doesn't know what we're talking about, in the YouTube chat window, there's this heart that you can click on to indicate that you like something, which is very nice. I appreciate that, that feature exists. However, it literally covers up some of chat and the words, and even will get in the way of me trying to moderate chat sometimes. Um, and there is no way of getting rid of it unless you want to stop, unless you want to make it so that no one can like your stream at all, which I kind of don't want to do. So why, YouTube? Why? Move the stupid heart window thing in chat. It's so unbelievably stupid and annoying. Sorry, that's end of my rant for now. I'll be honest, Donley, VPNs, they're nice. They're great for certain things, but I don't use it constantly. Like I turn mine on and off depending on different circumstances. Like when I'm out, I turn it on my phone, but when I go to certain websites where I'm like, I don't trust this website very much, um, or I want to look up prices for airplanes and stuff like that. Like, yeah, then I do incognito and VPN and stuff like that. Sister says, why? Yeah, I don't know why. It's the stupidest, frustrating, like UI decision. It would be fine if it could float. Like if I could move it around, fine. If I could just like click on it and then hit like cancel and make it disappear, even temporarily, fine. But it's just there all the time. And it literally covers up words. So sometimes I can't tell what someone's writing. And then one time I tried to like time someone out or ban them or delete a message, and I couldn't delete the message because I couldn't click on their message. So, just absolutely the dumbest thing. Yeah, YouTube's chat, we've said this before, is not as good as Twitch's. But the difference is on YouTube, I can stream at 4K, which I do, and on YouTube has more controls for the VODs, for people who want to watch the VODs, and I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there's no commercials on YouTube, or at least none that stop the stream. And if you pay for a premium, I think you can zoom in, and given that it's 4K, you'll actually be able to see something. So there's a few things about YouTube I like more than Twitch as far as like the technical side of things. Also, I can stream AV1, which is just better for my bandwidth. But yeah, their chat isn't as good. Donley says YouTube has a great feature that lets you remove a comment. However, the heart blocks you from deleting the comment immediately. In my opinion, negative something the usefulness of deleting. Negates. Thank you. Negates the usefulness. Yeah, exactly. Donley says it's true. I haven't seen any commercials. I don't think. Well, I don't have any commercials set up, and I'm not monetized on YouTube. So my expectation would be that there would be no commercials. Maybe they automatically like run the like lower third one, but I don't know. Hey, Poison Jackal is raiding with a party of 4. Nice. Welcome, raiders. I should let everybody know who is raiding. I am dual streaming, and because of that, I cannot see when people subscribe or follow, stuff like that. I apologize. It's just I do not have the screen real estate to have everything kind of happening. So I apologize, but I do appreciate anyone who does do any of those things. I appreciate it very much. I just cannot see it at the moment. How's it going? What have you been up to, Poison Jackal? What type of stream were you doing? I'm assuming art, but it could be something else. Just curious. Yeah, everybody go check out Poison Jackal. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. How was your stream? And also, I do understand if you need to like run out, I do get it because after stream it can be exhausting. You were arting. You started your first commission since getting back into painting. Oh, that's fantastic! Congratulations. That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm happy for you for getting a commission, and but 10 times more happy for you for getting back into art because I think everyone should get back into art. But that's fantastic. What type of art do you do? If you don't have like a ton of not safe for work stuff, you are welcome to post your Instagram or something. Um, but if it's like all not for safe for work furry stuff, which I don't, then maybe not. But otherwise, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see it. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's widely shared sentiment. If someone gets back in on a horse, it's always good to see. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay. Let's see. Arcolite says on Poison Jack stream, we think uh, composition is a scam. Uh, I mean, I don't know that I'd phrase it quite that way. Uh, I think that the rules are a lot more flexible than you know people uh, espouse of it. Let's see here. All right, search. Poison Jack. All right. Let's see. For the record, I cannot show your stuff on screen, and I'll explain why. I purposefully have it set up so I cannot show anything on screen from my screen because I don't want to lose my job by accident by showing NDA work from work. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Oh nice. Oh very nice. I like the first one that you have the portrait. Good job on the still life. Nice sunset. That's a crazy bird painting. Very, very nice. Here, I will share. I will share it here, and I will also share it in my YouTube chat as well, so everyone can go take a look at it. Oh, absolutely. I love sharing artwork and promoting other people. What's the commission? Is it a portrait or I asked because I saw the portrait of the woman, so that made me think of that. It says I follow too many people on Instagram. The last week, they put a stop to me. They think you're a bot. Oh no. Yeah, you gotta, at some point, you gotta start kind of moderating it because there's just too many, you can't actually keep track of it. You haven't posted there for a while, so it's kind of interesting seeing your older work. The commission is a landscape. Very nice. Yeah, I'm not good at posting. I've neglected my Instagram. However, I will be updating it before mid. What is it? April? Yeah, I'll be updating my Instagram before mid-April. I'm going to a convention and I want to have updated work on it, so I'll be doing that. I've been actually updating my website recently, which has been a whole, you know, ordeal. That says I was part of a workshop and everyone was sharing their IGs for follow, but you've been silenced. Oh, that makes sense. That sucks, but that makes sense. I get that. Did you did you have your account completely shut down, or will you be able to recuperate it, you think? And also, it's always great to have your older work available for viewing for yourself, I think, because it's so easy to not see our own improvement as we, work towards as we work on our art. That having that available is always, I think, really good. Okay. Des says no, they just won't let you follow for another 12 hours or so. They let me do about 5 per day now. That's funny. Okay, so Poison Jackal shared their painting. Oh, very nice. What size is this? 11 by 14 or 9 by 12? Uh, Maybe I'm wrong about those sizes. I'm hmm. Looks good. It's a good start. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Imperial. Uh-huh. Ah, got it. A4? That's a common size, right? And I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. I used to I used to use centimeters and everything. A4 roughly, yes, about 8.5 by 11 and a half. Yeah, yeah, that sounds right. Very cool. Very cool. That's coming along nicely. It's a good start. Is that it's a looks like I'm assuming acrylics? Yeah, I agree with Don Lee there. One part I hate about painting, not well, okay, not painting it, but like streaming of my paintings is that my painting is getting to this stage where it's like I'm doing a lot of like little noodling around, and it very much comes like it's, I feel like it's very hard to see sometimes. Oh, excuse me for a second. I'm going to say goodnight. All right, I'm back. Poison Jackal. Sorry, I keep getting it wrong. Poison Jackal says, "Glad to hear you've done a lot of or plenty where you thought the start was good and then you had to repair a lot." Yeah, and that I also have to do some stuff. I'll keep you up in the background. Awesome. One thing I'll say before you leave, I have one little piece of advice. Don't worry about having to redo or repair stuff later. If you ever watch one of my paintings from start to finish, or I'll have some time lapses on my Instagram occasionally. I'm working on making more of those, or my shorts on YouTube. You'll see I rework things like crazy. So for you and anybody watching who isn't familiar, don't be afraid of that. Just go to town. Don't worry about it. You can always fix it. You can always change it. You can always, like, don't, it's not a big deal. It's time consuming, yes, but don't worry about it. That's all I'll say. But I know the feeling. It definitely happens to me a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, says, I'm always impressed with the people that figure it out like that. Uh-huh. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm more impressed with the people who, like, just get it right the first time, because I can't do that. So those people, I'm like, I don't know how you did that, but like, that's cool magic that you can do. I'm gonna just be, I'm just gonna be stubborn and keep working at it. I feel like stubbornness has always kind of defined my art journey, though, when I think about it. The reason I say that, by the way, is because for numerous reasons, but for anyone who isn't, you know, who hasn't heard me talk about it before, hold on a second. Let's see. Some people are chatting. Sister says maybe the trick is never admit your mistakes and pretend it was intentional all along. Depends on the circumstance. Um, I agree with that, and under certain circumstances, uh, but not under all circumstances. I'll put it that way. Um, but yeah, when I when I started in art, I was going to be a comic book artist, and I was, as a kid, like, I wasn't very good. I had almost all my friends were better than me, but they stopped drawing and I kept drawing. So I got better than them eventually. Took a while, but I did eventually. Conley says, happy little accidents. Sister says, just kidding. No, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not joking when I say I agree with you. And here's why. Okay? This is, so, first of all, there's no such thing as a perfect drawing, painting, that, there's no such thing as a perfect one without any mistakes, right? Like that basically doesn't exist. Okay. Number one. And then the other aspect of it is that, when you're working to get better and you're trying to improve and you're talking to other artists and you're getting critique or whatever, like sure, admit your mistakes, always admit your mistakes to yourself, of course. But when you're showing your art, if you're doing a show, if you're presenting your art, like when I have a show and I am showing my paintings for sale, I'm not going to admit to any mistakes then. You know what I mean? Because who wants to buy something where the artist is like, oh yeah, that right there, that's a mistake. A. And B, or two, or whatever. The other thing too is that when people don't know your art, like they don't, well, no, let me rephrase that. When people see your art, there's certain things about your art that they like, right? And they don't see the mistakes the way that you see them. To you, they might jump out, and to them, they might not see them at all. But there's another thing that people don't think about. I'm sure you've heard that before, but sometimes the mistakes end up being the part of the artwork that they end up loving. That also happens. So think about how it would feel to find out, like if I'm like a huge John Singer Sargent fan, which I am, and I'm looking at his work in the museum and I'm like, I love this piece. This is my favorite painting of his because of how he handled, the figure in this painting. And then they find a journal entry where he's like, oh yeah, I hate this painting. The figure came out all wrong, but what can you do? Deadlines, How would that feel? Like that would be awful. So I absolutely think that at a certain point it's all intentional, but that's at that point only. The thing that I've seen way more often is I used to be, I tried to make it in comics and I worked in comics for a bit. And the thing I saw more often was people who couldn't draw just claim it was their style to get out of, improving and working on themselves. That was the thing I saw a lot of back in the day. But as long as you're not doing that. Sister says, you know what? You've convinced me to get out of putting the work and the grind. To get, wait, to get out of putting the work and the grind? You mean to get out and put in the work and the grind? I hope that's what you mean, because right now it sounds like you're like giving up. No, wait, separate statements. Okay. Another thing I promote a lot on this channel, in my streams and in general, like I try to push is I want everybody to make art, and I don't want people to be overly concerned um, with the quality of their work. If, in the sense of like don't get me wrong, everyone wants to improve, everyone wants to get better, but like if you're not the best at the moment, that's fine. Also, no one's the best ever. Like that doesn't exist. But it's just something that like is good for everybody to do, and you don't have to be the best at it. You can do it for fun. If you really enjoy it, focus on the process, you'll get better. And if you want to make it into a career, you can, although making a career out of art is not suitable for everybody, not because of quality, it's just not the type of work that everybody wants to do. And that's fine too. But that's very much a separate thing from making art. Anyways, let's see. Sister says, the people who claim their first attempts are their style. Yes, that is not a good thing. Automod held some, here, let me see. Oh, because you have the word ugly and it held that. Hold on. Let's allow this because this is clearly okay. I mean, you're allowed to present whatever you want, but the rest of us are allowed to think it's ugly. Again, for those who use it as an excuse. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. My auto mod is just aggressive. That's all. No, absolutely. I just don't want people. I want people to, um, you know, like I said, I think people focus too much on like, oh, well, if they're not good, if they're not as good as like professionals or whatever, then why even bother making art? It's like, no, no, no. You don't have to be, you know, a quote unquote professional to make art, and you don't have to be a professional to be an artist either. Um, and I want people to like not worry about that as much because I've seen that too much. People are too worried about that. Um, but yeah, people who make the excuse of like, oh, this is just my style. It's like, yeah, okay, I've heard that before. Oh, I can't draw feet because that's my style. Like, yeah, that's pretty sure if that just means you're lazy. Don't get me wrong. If you don't want to draw feet, don't draw feet. Just recognize the limitations of it, you know? Um, I'm not going to give people who aren't trying to make it a career a hard time about not wanting to draw feet. But if you do want to make it a career, you're going to have to learn how to draw feet. You agree? Always encourage learning and growing? Absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing I noticed for me personally, when I was younger, I was very much focused on the final outcome, right? I think to a degree I still am, of course, because you want the final outcome to be good. I mean, I'm not going to lie, right? Obviously, I want the final outcome to be good. However, a little note to that is that when you focus more on the process, um, you get better outcomes ultimately. So it's much better to focus on the process and to do a lot of it, and you'll get better outcomes over time. And not saying that you don't focus still on the outcome at all. I'm just saying that it's a different way of focusing on the outcome. it's like a roundabout way of focusing on the outcome. And that's one of the reasons I paint the way I do. Like, there's a lot of painting techniques that I don't use, and they're very valid and beautiful techniques. And I don't use a lot of them because I don't enjoy the process of painting like that. So I don't want to do it ultimately. But there's a ton of ways of making art, and but I don't enjoy certain, I enjoy painting the way I paint, and I make an effort to adapt that to what I want. But yeah, I'm focused on like the experience of painting it. That's why I paint the way I do. That's also why I don't use certain mediums. I just don't enjoy painting with those mediums. Sister says, this is a timely conversation for me. I was sharing in another stream how I finished a long-term project this week. Uh, Calendar start was last fall, even summer, working on it on and off. Okay, there's more to come to this statement. That's a long project. You put at least 30 to 40 hours on it. Someone in chat said they would love to see it, but I wouldn't post it because you're embarrassed to show it. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll be honest. I mean, that's a long. I actually thought it was going to be a lot more hours on it, given the time frame. That would be really rough to start a painting or to start a art project so long ago and then come back to it. I've actually had similar things happen to me in the past. It's very challenging. Um, I worked on a comic book once on a like on the side. It wasn't like my full-time thing. It was very much a side project for someone. And that also happened to me where it was like um, the difference in quality between page 1 and page 20 was so drastic. And it's like, what are you going to do? Let's see. You can only manage little bits of time at a time. Chronic illness situation. That's understandable. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, of course, but I totally understand where you're coming from. Uh, me and my girlfriend partner, um, we took care of her mom when she was after she had some strokes and she had early onset Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that. My girlfriend did most of it, of course, because I was also working and so on, but I was a part of it, and it's a lot to deal with. Any chronic kind of issue or illness or whatever. Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be that extreme, but it can be. It's a ton. That's a lot to deal with. But yeah, I did think it was going to be less hours because I've put in that amount of hours into a painting before. Only it was in a, well, it depends. When I was younger, it was in a week, But yeah, now because of work, I don't have time to put in 40 hours of painting in a week. But maybe in 2 weeks, depending. Thanks. You also tend to have at least 6 projects going on at once. Yeah. Okay. Like to bounce around and change it up. Yeah. Nice. Generally speaking, I tend to be more linear. Like I start one and finish it, but I do actually have a bunch of paintings right now that I haven't finished. So in a way, I have a bunch of projects that aren't finished, but yeah. Like this one, I have 2 other found photo paintings that I need to get back to and finish. Yeah. I don't know if I even talked about this, but for anyone who hasn't heard this before, and I apologize to everyone who has heard this before. Um, this is based off of found photography. Found photography is really interesting because it's basically photos that have been abandoned or lost, or they're just found. Basically, old photos that don't no one knows who they belong to, who the owners are, how to find them. Like yeah. You can buy them at secondhand shops. You can buy them online. You can, like, there's all kinds of places that you can get found photography. They're found all kinds of places. Photos with zero context. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing one of the things that I love about them. So first of all, I'm sticking to much older photos. Like this is basically, I'm not painting anything that's, you know, everything's from like the early 70s and like later or before, however you want to phrase that, right? So it's all very, very old photos. But the thing that gets me is that it's this weird, like, shared memories between people. And what I mean by that is that, like, I don't know these people. I have no idea what the context of this photo is. I mean, I understand what's happening in the photo, but like, I don't know the people here. However, if I came across this photo in a photo album, in my, like, one of my family photo albums, I'd be like, who are these people? Obviously ethnicities play a role in some of these aspects because, you know, that can obviously affect, like, people thinking these are possibly family members or not. I get that. But regardless, this is very much like a photo that could be straight out of one of my old family photo albums. Um, and all the other photos that I'm using are the same way. Even though I don't know these people, even though these aren't photos out of my family photo album, um, there's this weird, like, shared memory that people, or shared experience, and because of that memory that we all kind of have. And of course, like I said, I know it's not going to hit with everybody. It's impossible to have something like this, connect with everybody. But I have a variety of photos, so there's definitely, over time, I'm going to find one that connects with most people, I feel. Des says, me too. I'm home on disability, lots of time to paint. You spend way too much time not painting, though. Eh. Sister says it's impossible to have anything connect with everybody. Exactly. I agree. So I'm just pointing it out so people aren't like, oh, well, this doesn't connect with me. It's like, yeah, okay, it's not going to with everybody, but I'll find a photo eventually. Eventually, if I keep at it long enough, I'll find one. I don't know if I'll keep up with it that long. I'm definitely doing a series. I'm working on this series, but like, I don't know that I'm going to do an ongoing series forever of this, but I'm definitely going to do a few pieces of it. But yeah, it's practically impossible to have something connect with everybody. If anyone's curious and think I'm kind of eating into her head there, I am. But what's it called? That's how I handle hair a lot of time. Oh shoot, I messed this up. Okay, there we go. Uh, that looks wrong, but whatever. I didn't see the wires there before, but whatever. Um, Hey, I'll say this, sister, that's not bad as far as hours go. I'm not saying you should be happy with that in the sense of like, I understand wanting more, but at the same time, it's not bad. Sometimes that's all I have time for. This is a digital zoom, so I apologize if anyone's like, oh, it's blurry. It's a digital zoom. That's what I can do. But the reason I'm zooming in is to just show kind of like what I'm doing with the hair right now. So, um, I don't like obviously with the background, the hair is overlapping, the background. I don't want to do that thing where like digital artists will do this a lot, where they paint the background and then they paint the foreground on top of it. That is technically or partially how I'm doing it, and that is technically a good way of doing it. But I'm not in 100% doing that because I'm painting wet into wet. So there's going to be some blending and some smushing of the paint around. Um, and I think it's good to also mix the kind of the optical blending that happens because of the overlap versus just relying on like doing one color and then the other and just relying on that alone. So I thought I'd zoom in a little and show what I mean here. So I'm putting in a slightly darker, like more saturated blue here, which is partially the mix that I was talking about. Smushing, noted. Yes, smushing. It's a professional term. This says I'm a big fan of professional terms. Good, good. I'm sure you'll learn a lot of very professional. Sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. Let me try again. I'm sure you'll learn a lot of professional terms in this in my streams. Also, my tea is cold, and I can't be asking to warm. Can't be asked to warm it up. I mean, you know, iced tea, right? My stepdad uh, used to drink coffee all the time, like almost exclusively. I don't think he drank anything other than coffee, unless he was, you know, drinking. Um, Technically, it's herbal tea, peppermint, not too bad cold. Oh, there you go. See? Um, and he used to buy coffee at 7-Eleven, which is, for anyone who doesn't know what 7-Eleven is, it's like a convenience store, like a gas station kind of thing. Not Starbucks is what I'm getting at. And he used to walk around with a cup uh, of coffee that he all day, and he would go back and refill as he, was working and so on. Um, but that thing would be, I swear to God, I think room temperature 80% of the day. And he just like, would just drink it at room temperature all the time. This just says not too good either. LOL. Oh no. That Well, your mistake was going with peppermint. I'm not a fan of peppermint, so. All right, so now I'm going to paint in some of the darker spots of the hair that are back here. Uh, this one says me neither, but it has great digestive properties for digestive discomfort. Yes, proven by science too. Interesting. I didn't know that, but yeah, I'll drink peppermint tea when I have an upset stomach. So yes, I'm familiar. So you suck it up when you'd rather that to be uncomfortable. Yeah. It says, I love ginger. You were introduced to ginger lemonade at a restaurant and you've been slicing it and putting it in your own lemonade at home now. Interesting. I like some ginger ales. Um, you know, I don't know if I would like it fresh like that, but yeah. Ginger for nausea, immediate upper issues, peppermint for everything else. Interesting. You love it anyway, Des? Nice. That's cool. All right, her face definitely needs some work. It's definitely not what's it called? Um Done. But yeah. I almost wait, I was gonna say I almost never get nauseous, but that's not true. I get nauseous a lot. Just depends on the circumstance. So I was about to say something, but that's not true at all. All right, let's get the detailer out for a second. I'm gonna put in some details here. I get car sick very easily. That's what I'm talking about. That, and I take some medication that if that sometimes makes me a little like nauseous, you know. All right. Hi, face cam. Little lower. You need to. Okay, there we go. We'll see if I can keep this up. I'm trying to stay out of the way of the thingy, but yeah. Ginger helps you a lot with long car or bus rides. Interesting. I'm usually okay as long as I don't read. Uh, that's like one of the main things. If I try and read anything while I'm in the car, oof, that I go into like I get nauseous real fast like that. Uh, yeah, maps or reading. Yeah. I'm okay with my directions usually because it's very, very sporadic, but yeah. Uh, it just says the joy of medication sometimes, but it's better than the alternative. Yeah, sometimes it is. You tried to draw once on a bus ride once. You couldn't even almost make a basic shape with the movement. Yeah, I mean, obviously depends on the bus. I've been on bus rides or train rides where I could draw, but after like 5 minutes, I get so nauseous that I'm worried I'm about to make a Jackson Pollock on my paper. So I stop. And then I just sit there suffering for like half an hour till it goes away. I should find it. I one time, I have it somewhere. I was on a bus ride, and what I did was I held I held my pen on a piece of paper. I just held it there, and I just held it there for like most of the bus ride. And every time it jerked around, I just kept it there. Like I didn't try and draw anything. I didn't try and do anything. I barely, I just kind of held it. It was a mess. There's nothing really there, but it is kind of interesting to see. Like I said, there's nothing really there, so it's very much a scribble of like nonsense, but it's still fun to do. For those who don't know, the brand Gravol also makes ginger gel capsules. Ginger is the only ingredient, no drugs, no drowsiness, game changer for me. Interesting. But does that actually, does that, no, does that help though? I'm surprised because to me, I always assumed that a big part of it was actually like the taste of the ginger, which might be stupid, but yeah. I just kind of assumed that a big part of it was actually like um, the flavor, not the actual ingredient. Like not the like like it's not a real medicine. I guess is the thing in my head. It says, well, I'm too far gone. Nothing helps, but generally, yes, ginger does actually work, at least for common ailments. Interesting. I'm going to mention this now before I end. Oh, I'm going to be ending stream in a little while. But before I end stream, I should mention I stream 3 times a week. I stream Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday evening or afternoon. This is all Austin, Texas time, also known as Central Time, also known as Chicago time. But yeah. And there's a Discord, and I notify people through my Discord when I'm streaming or when something goes wrong and my stream fails, like last night. Thanks again, Windows Update. I appreciate you. Not really. But yeah, I stream 3 times a week. I have a Discord and I have all the like, normal social media stuff. But I thought I should mention it more often so people know. And I've actually been able to pull it off pretty regularly. I mean, of course, there'll be the occasional thing, but I've been doing this since August, and yeah, pretty happy about that. Hmm. Uh, okay, interesting. You don't know if it would work on pregnant. Sister was talking about ginger working on pregnancy or chemotherapy. But ginger is scientifically proven to help with garden variety nausea. Oh, that's interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Well, I'll tell you what, when I'm pregnant, I'll let you know what works on me. Fair enough. Yeah. 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 So for a painting like this, I should mention this. Not just a found, not just talking about a found photography necessarily, but a painting of this size where like the figures are important, but they're also not like the likeness is not important, right? Because I don't know who these people are. No one knows who these people are. Making it look just like them is really not uh, a huge priority. And I'll be honest, at this size, that should never be a priority, probably. Or not never, but under normal circumstances, I wouldn't expect anybody to paint something where getting a likeness, a very tight likeness, is the priority at this size. So everybody knows this is a 16 by, this is a 12 by 16. But I mean, you can see the heads are like literally the size of my thumb. You're not, unless you're breaking out the ultra small detail brush, you're just not gonna get it. Um, so because of that, it's also worth mentioning that like, so then it becomes an issue of, okay, so if I don't need to get exact likeness, you have to kind of balance detail, with ease or generality and what's it called? And just the overall style, like all these things, you have to balance them. So I'm still gonna clarify this face a bit more, but I'm not going to be going in there and doing all the details of the face because it is not required and I don't feel like it'll actually add anything. And that's really the main thing, is to figure out what will and what won't contribute, to the painting overall. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely painters who can do a extremely detailed face at this size. I'm not one of them. Out of choice, not inability. Actually, I have a friend who's a fantastic painter, and but that's what he does. He breaks out the he has brushes that are literally just a couple bristles. Like he literally has brushes that he'll buy and then trim them down to make them thinner. Um, yeah, and he has a magnifying glass thing, and he paints a lot of stuff like that. I also have a magnifying thing. I barely use it, but I do have it in case I need it. Oh my God, I had such a stupid moment with one of those, with that magnifying glass thing on. So dumb. So I don't wear glasses yet. I think I'm getting to the stage where I'm probably going to need glasses soon. Like I notice it. I notice that my eyesight, it just is not quite what it used to be, right? Under very like specific circumstances. But my eyesight's pretty good still. But there's occasion, like I said, occasionally there's some times where I'm just like, I probably need to go see a doctor soon and get glasses. um, so I had this I had this moment where actually, now that I think about it, it wasn't with the magnifying glass. It was with those glasses at the pharmacy. Like they have the, non-prescription glasses there that you can try. And I had this stupid moment where I was like, I tried them on to see if it helped. And it's like, it helped, right? Because it made everything clearer. And then I'm like, wait a second, it's just a magnifying glass. Of course, it's easier to see. It's literally a magnifying glass. And I take it off and I can still read the thing, just it's smaller. I'm like, that's not the point. I'm not trying to use these as a magnifying glass. I was trying to check if I'm having vision issues. It's just like, I'm so dumb. Uh, but yeah, I had one of those like jeweler type of things that you wear on your head to, you know, for for uh for details. Most of the time, I the thing I use it the most for is splinters. Honestly, that's what I use it the most for, being able to see splinters and pull them out. Alrighty. Obviously, painting not quite done yet, but it is 11 p.m. and I think I'm done for the stream, unfortunately. I want to thank everybody who stopped in, all the raiders who stopped in, all the new people who stopped by. I do appreciate it very much. And like I said, I stream 3 times a week. If you all want to stop by more often, I am here. I have a Discord, I have a feedback corner. I don't know what else. I'm really tired. Have a cat or a goodbye. Dresden, come here. You're in my chair, and I'm going to have to move you anyways. I know you're sleeping, baby boy. I know. I know you're sleeping. Hey, you don't need to look at the screen. Come on. Dresden, there's nothing there. There's no cat there. I promise. You're the only cat in this room right now. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, sweetheart. Anyways, yeah. I stream 3 times a week. Often there's a cat on stream at some point. This cute buddy is usually the one, although he's been freaking out because of he saw himself on screen one time. All right, little boy. Yeah. And I'm going to call it there. Have a good night, everybody. I don't raid because I simul stream and that's too much tech stuff to figure out. So sorry, no raids. Bye. I guess bye. Yeah.